So, but anyway, so I came late, so I sat in one of the last rows, and I couldn't hear a thing of what the speakers were saying because all I could hear were the pots and pans. So you can thank your lucky star that you'll be able to hear all of what Lars is going to say. If there's anybody who deserves the title Mr. Qt, then today this would be Lars Knoll. And I'm not even sure what your title is. Does it say here, sir? He's the CTO of DigiQt and the Qt project chief maintainer, but for me he's really Mr. Qt. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you Lars Knoll.
Thanks a lot, Kalle, for that lovely introduction. I think, Mr. Qt is a bit of an exaggeration. Yes, I've been around in the ecosystem forever. It feels at least like that. But I've been not the one who started the whole thing. And keeping that in mind, I've been doing a lot of things in the ecosystem. But there's really others who have started the whole thing. And since it's the 10th anniversary of Qt Developer Days, it's probably also something we should remember a little bit. And unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of pictures, or no pictures really here, but I thought maybe, I just thought this morning, maybe, giving you a little bit of a recap of how things started is probably an interesting thing. So, Qt was actually founded, done and started around the early 90s, very, very early, by Eirik Schrombeng and Håvard Noor. And, as they claim to say, it all started on a park bench, where they sat and they were discussing UI frameworks at that point in time, Motif, MFC, and some others that probably nobody knows about anymore. And found out that this was all very clumsy, and they really thought they could do better. And at some point they said, yeah, let's do it. We know how to do it, we know how to do it better. And they founded the company called Trolltech in 1994. The first 2 years, I think they were basically living off their wives. Their wives were earning the money, they were working on technology and cool stuff, had a lot of fun, and, didn't really make any money with it. But this slowly began to change. In 1995, they released Qt 1.0, and then first time I heard about Qt was with version I think 1.1 or 1.2 maybe. That was when actually the German CT at that point in time picked it up and had a good article about it and about the KDE project. And I think many of the old guys got involved with Qt, with the technology through the KDE project. And that was one of the big things that boosted Qt forward. An open source project. And why was that happening? That was happening because Qt was actually, Eirik and Håvard released also the first versions of Qt. They released the source code to it. They released Qt as open source. And this has been a scheme ever since. Qt would not be here without open source, without KDE, and we wouldn't have that strong ecosystem with that. That's one of the things that started, got me into that, and which got me fascinated, because it's a very interesting model to try to work with open source and actually make a business around it. How do you do that? And it was a fascinating problem that we, that challenge we had at that point in time in the past, and we had ever since. But it's a great thing to do. So we moved forward, released Qt 2.0 in 99. In 2000, I actually joined Trolltech then. At some point, we released Qt 3.0, and we actually went and opened up more things. In the first version, only the X11 port was out there, the source code for that one. Windows was closed. Closed source, we had to get some revenues from somewhere. And then we found out over time that we could open up things more and more. And we started, taking forward slow steps, careful steps towards opening things up. We started working on a Mac port, and we released the Mac port and the source code of that one from the very beginning there. And then in 2005, when we moved over to Qt 4, we actually thought now is the good time to release actually the Windows port. And that was, For Tortec at that point in time, a big step, because a lot of the revenue came in through the Windows version. Releasing that under a GPL open source license was something where we weren't quite sure how it would work out, but we thought, let's do it. And these kind of things then, followed us throughout the years to come. In 2008, the whole company, Trolltech, got acquired by Nokia. And Nokia wanted to use that for lots of their mobile ecosystem. And to build up that ecosystem, one good way to do that is to open up Qt further. So some of the moves we did during that time is, to LGPL Qt. And then in 2000 and, when was it? Actually, 11, we actually created the Qt project. And that was something we had going on for a long time there. We wanted to basically open up the Qt development more. So we were always, since the very beginning, we got patches in from people. Some people, sending patches in. I remember one of the things actually must have been, also in the very early times when they released the first version. And then this weird guy from Australia sent them some patches to improve Qt one day after they released the product, the first version. And, Eirik and Håvard at that time got completely surprised. But what they did then is they hired the guy. It was called Warwick Ellison. He was one of the earlier guys there in helping with Qt development. He also, then led the Brisbane office that we had for a long time throughout most of the years. But so we were opening up things more and more, and trying to get a system where others from the outside could contribute. And that didn't quite work because it was putting the internal developers and the external developers on different premises. It was much harder to get something from the outside in. It was a different workflow. And so, we didn't really, working on our projects, we couldn't really take the time to review all of that. So finally, 2011, we then created the Qt project. We went in there and we really made the internal and external workflow the same. Have something where all of us can work on an equal basis on the Qt project. And I'll come back to the Qt project a little bit more in detail a little later. So that was it, and then, 2 years, turbulent years started also because, Nokia changed its strategy. Qt wasn't really part of that anymore. And we were actually, last year, the whole Qt business was sold to Digia. So that was a little bit of the history that led until that one. And then, last year, we moved over to Digia, a lot of people. It's a little bit smaller setting with somewhat fewer developers and people than we had in Nokia. But, it's been a great story for us who have been part of it now. It's been a good move. We got, quiet into the ecosystem again, things for us were quiet and productive. We had a very productive year where all of us could really focus on the development on a strategy that we set out last year and try to execute it. And I'll come back to that also a little bit later in the talk, showing you how and what we've done to move forward on our strategy. So, if we look at the last year, what has happened in the last 12 months? Those of you who have been here last year, remember we announced that we're going to release Qt 5.0 by the end of 2012. And many people didn't really believe it. I myself was a little bit, skeptical. Will we make it or not? And we actually made it. We released it in December, just before Christmas. A new major release of Qt, the first one, after 7 years, after Qt 4.0, which wasn't, binary compatible with Qt 4, but, for the largest degree source compatible, which changed a lot of the architecture and internals. It's modular. We now have Qt Essentials, stuff that works on every platform, every operating system that we want to support, and we have the add-ons where, we're free, and some of them only work on one operating system. Some are cross-platform, but they're a bit freer to decide how their APIs are looking. We went in and we completely redid our platform abstraction layer, the integration layer into the windowing system with QPA. And that was a big move for us because it meant we had to basically rewrite all the backends for all the different operating systems, for Mac, Windows, for Linux. All of those got rewritten. A lot of work, and you could also feel that still in Qt 5.0. There were rough edges. Some stuff wasn't quite working as it should, and we were spending a lot of the time last year to fix many of these issues. But we had a new graphics architecture in place, something where we can then also make use of modern graphics hardware in a much better way. We had the scene graph that we're using in Qt Quick now. We also added C++11 support, and we moved over also, very, very important, from a feature-based releasing model, where we said this is the features and we release when they're done, to a time-based releasing model, where we are going to have a minor release with the new features that are ready every 6 months. One of the other big projects we started is that we saw that there's a big opportunity on the embedded side. Many devices, embedded devices, are gaining touchscreens these days. All of them want to have a user interface. Even, things like your refrigerator at home. All of these devices are getting user interfaces, and there wasn't really too many good technologies out there. And we thought, Qt is perfect for that. After the years that we spent, making Qt fit also for mobile, embedded devices is no difference. We have a great UI technology for it with Qt Quick. Qt is lightweight enough to run on, decent, also even low-end processors. So we can do something great there, and we wanted to create a product around it, something that really puts it all together. And we took, basically said, let's take an Android base layer or a stock Linux base layer with the drivers, and then we just strip away everything that's not needed and put Qt on top of it. And that's what we call Boot to Qt. There's a technology preview that we released in May, and we're moving forward with this project. And let's see, we'll probably soon have something ready to show there of something final. In July then, 6 months after Qt 5.0, we released Qt 5.1. We were trying to get it a little bit earlier in June. We were early June, actually. We were a little bit late. We still had some work to do. But we're moving in, and we're trying to keep our 6 months release schedule. And I think right now we're seeing that this is starting to work better and better. So I'm having good hopes that 5.2 will actually come out in time. We had a tech previews for Android and iOS in there. Windows Embedded Compact 7 support. We added the Qt Quick controls, sensors for Android, iOS, and BlackBerry. And we added a new module for accessing the serial port. So lots of cool stuff and new features coming in there. And we actually also added, on the packaging side, online installers, so that you don't download. You have an online installer which can actually check whether a new version of Qt is available and then upgrade itself. We also released Qt Creator 2.8 there. So that was the third release of Qt Creator in that year. I haven't mentioned them all. Where we did a lot of new work on, multi-monitor support, C++ refactoring, some basic Android support is in there. We have some more work on BB10. Lots of cool stuff happening. A Python editor, other stuff got in there. And just to show you how productive the last year has been, you can here see, all the releases that came out of, during the last year. As you see, it's a long list of different things, and I think I even left out quite a few minor ones. Some patch level releases. So this is great because you see that there's a lot of stuff happening. We had in addition to the releases I just mentioned, we had things like the installer framework, QBS, the Qt build system, Visual Studio add-ins, charts, other things. So that was good. It was a very productive year for all of us. I can also see that myself. I remember in the Nokia years leading the Qt development team. I've been spending, 90% of my time on administrative things, on internal alignment in the company, other stuff. Now, in Digia as a CTO, I spent a lot of time actually doing also development and coding, and I can tell you it feels good. So let's move over. Qt project. What's happening there? As I told you, in 2011 we started off that project, and I have to say it's been a tremendous success. I'm really, really happy about it. It was Thiago and myself who've been pulling a lot of the work there and trying to make that run and work in the initial days. And now it really just works. The last year, I didn't really have to do a whole lot of conflict resolution, other things. The project is just moving of its own. Everybody knows how it works, and we're very productive in there. So, for those of you who are a little bit new and don't really know what it is, the Qt project, QtDD13 is really the main place for Qt development. It's an open source project. It's meritocratic, which means, not everybody has equal rights, but, the people who do most of the work and who have most of the experience have most of the rights. And, you can see here, the pyramid that we have. Everybody can contribute to it. Everybody can add patches, fix documentation, just contribute to the wiki and add an article there, add some information there. And then we have approvers who can basically review the code that is being contributed, check that it follows our style guides, that's actually, whether they find any issues with it, that it, code gets contributed into the right place. So, that not something that actually should belong into, let's say, Qt GUI gets contributed to Qt widgets or something like that. So it ends up in the right spot, in the right class. We have the maintainers on top of that who have, ultimate responsibility for a certain area. Like, for Qt Core, that's Thiago. Unfortunately, actually, he couldn't make it here, but that's a different story. And then, I have the, I would say, honor to be the chief maintainer and be on top of the whole thing. And then, help the maintainers in case there's, questions they can't resolve, in case there's, conflicts, try to find out the right solution, and then, give a little bit the overall direction for the project. A lot of the work is happening there on the mailing list, development at QtProject.org. Who's actually subscribed to that mailing list? Can I have a short hands-on? That's quite a lot, actually. It's cool. We have an IRC channel where a lot of discussions are happening on Qt Labs on Freenode, a wiki, the Jira bug tracker, and Gerrit code review.qtproject.org where you push your patches. The whole contribution development process is actually relatively simple. It starts off with developing a patch. You have to use a Git, that's our version control system. You create a patch with that, and then you basically push it to code review. There we have a small early warning system called the sanity bot, which just looks over the change and tries to find obvious problems and gives you immediate feedback. Then we have, if that passes, a developer usually looks at it, and you can actually ask developers to look into that one. There's some things people have always been asking me, how do I find out whom to put in there? There's a very simple trick for those of you who are new. You just look at the history of the file you've been modifying, and look at the guys who have been doing most of the work in there. And sometimes they aren't around anymore. But if they are around, they're a good starting point for a reviewer, usually. And they can usually help you further in case they're not really responsible. Otherwise, it's asking the maintainers or myself. So after the review, we have a CI system, which really makes sure that no regressions get into the code. So all the changes get run through a full test, all the test things, everything gets tested, and only if we don't have any regressions in our automated tests, the patch actually gets pushed into the main product, into the main code line. And that's really there to keep the quality of the code up high. And it works very well. Well, it has its issues, but in general, I mean, it helped us really a lot. And sometimes, I know many of the developers here that are working with Qt are sometimes, complaining about the CI system. I do the same thing because, my patch didn't get through again. And, there's some places where some tests are failing, because they're a little bit, unstable, because they rely on timing and things like that. So this is sometimes a bit annoying, but it's really the best system we ever had, and I'm really happy that we have it. If you look at the status, what has happened over the last year, we got 30,000 contributions pushed to codereview.qtproject.org. And that's not counting individual revisions of one contribution, because often a patch that gets pushed, then you get a comment on it, you push another version of the patch, fixing some issues. No, it's 30,000 individual different patches, fixing bugs, adding new features. More than 18,000 of those actually changes got committed to the different repositories on Qt project. So that's a huge amount, and I'd like to thank everybody who has been working with us there and who got these patches in. It's really helping us to make a great product out of Qt. Yes, thanks everybody. And then in summer, we had actually a very successful Qt Contributor Summit with 200 participants in Bilbao. It was great actually being there and looking at, getting a lot of contacts. We had it together with the KDE community this time with their Academy conference, and that was great because we could talk with each other. KDE is currently actively moving over to Qt 5, doing the KDE Frameworks 5, and we're getting a lot of, good contributions from KDE right now into Qt. Some of them I'll mention in a minute. So if you look a little bit into details, here's what you can see, how the contributions look like. You see some of the people have pushing most of the contributions in there. But then there's a big amount of people on top that are really different, pushing contributions. And I think I checked, we have usually around, 100 different people every month pushing contributions. And it's not always the same ones. So, I mean, the total community is actually a lot larger. If you look at the companies that are doing the changes, this is how it looks right now. You see that, the relative distribution, you see that Digia is still doing, most of the work, 2/3 approximately, but there are a lot of other companies coming in. The green line is actually all the individuals, different people. Then we have, KDAP as the next biggest company doing contributions. BlackBerry is contributing quite a bit. Audio Codes, that's actually one guy only. Intel, that's mainly Thiago. And a few others. Jolla is doing something. We still get a few contributions from Nokia as well. I'm not sure what they are, but at some point I should check. But so you see that this is actually very good. And you can also see that there's a good and vibrant community around it and lots of different people and companies contributing to making Qt better and improving it. Okay, now let's move into the present, Qt 5.2. I'll try to give you a little bit of an overview of what's coming. We released the alpha for Qt 5.2 actually 10 days ago, on the 30th of September, sorry. That's that 10? No, it's just a week ago. The beta is coming pretty soon, and we actually already now, if you want to have a look, the first versions of binary packages are up today. That's what I just heard. They still have some bugs, but they're getting usable, and you can start also playing around with binary snapshots for Qt 5.2 now pretty soon, if you don't want to wait until the beta is out officially. So, first major feature, Android support. With Qt 5.2, Android is fully supported. You have Android, pretty old versions actually that we can still work with, 2.3.6 and newer. We're supporting all of the Qt essentials. We're supporting the sensors. And we support all cross-platform add-ons. So that's quite a bit of stuff that's working there. That includes, the base libraries. It includes Qt Quick. It includes Qt widgets. It includes multimedia. We have good tooling support built into Qt Creator. There's x86 and ARM tool chains that work with it. You can do remote debugging. You can do packaging and signing. The only restriction that we currently have that is probably worthwhile mentioning is that Qt WebKit is not currently supported. It's possible to show web content with the Android web view, but then you have to use the Java native interface to integrate with that. So that's a shortcoming. We know about it, and I'll come back to that later. The second big feature for Qt 5.2 is the iOS support. Also that one, fully supported now. All of the Qt essentials are working. We have Qt Quick working. We have the sensors working. We have widgets are working, even though I wouldn't recommend them on iOS. And all the cross-platform add-ons. So the state there is pretty much the same. Tooling and deployment goes mostly via Xcode. You know, we have some experimental Qt Creator support available that will come in Qt Creator 3.0. But you know, most of the work goes there with Xcode. Also there, the restriction is no Qt WebKit support. This time, not because we wouldn't want it or we couldn't do it, but because Apple doesn't allow us to. It's possible to use a native web component instead, and as I said, I'll come back to the whole story later on in the Outlook a bit. Let's have a look at the more detailed low-level features that we're doing. We've done a lot of work has happened in Qt Core. We got local aware sorting, the QCollator class, something, you know, feels like, you know, why didn't we have this 10 years ago? I don't know. But it's something that has been missing for a long time, you know, that you can sort according to the language you are in. You know, you also can sort numerically, all of these things. So, you know, that actually when you're now in sorting according to the German alphabet, that the Äs and Ös and Üs end up at the right spot and not, you know, at the wrong one. Same thing for all the other languages. We have some runtime configurable logging, something that also many people have been asking for. So you can go in and, you know, use a QCDebug instead of QDebug, and you can add a logging category, and then you can at runtime turn different, you know, logging facilities on and off. And it's very low overhead if they are turned off, pretty much zero overhead. We got time zone handling in there. Also, that is something where I said, you know, finally. We have a QTimeZone class, and QDateTime can work with it, together with it. So you can now work with different time zones, you know, adjust, you know, your dates and times when you move from time zone to time zone, and work with all these things. We have a command line parser, also one of the things that people have been talking about for a long time. And, you know, I think this is around it must have been almost the 10th attempt to write one for Qt. I don't know, it's uncountable. And none of them ever made it through. So it's the favorite project of everybody who started in Trolltech for a while. They all wanted to do a command line parser and get it into Qt, and we were never happy with the design and never got it in. So finally, you know, this summer, David sat down and created a command line parser. And that one actually now made it into Qt Core. So that's the good news, and I'm really happy about it. One other feature, Qt File Selector. This is something that helps you actually select and load files depending on, you know, some static information, like, you know, the platform you're on. So you can structure your project in a way that you put things into different subdirectories, you know, one for example, for Android, one for BlackBerry, one for Linux, desktop, or for Windows. And then you load, depending on which platform you are on, the right version of the file will get loaded automatically. And you can also add there your own selection criteria, and then, you know, and that helps you really structure your code and your additional data in a way that it is more easy to work with. We got some SSL enhancements in Qt Network as well. On Qt GUI and widgets, we have quite a few new things. We have a Qt OpenGL texture class that encapsulates texture handling and helps you with that one. Really nice enabler. And it's one of the enablers that are going to be used also later on for Qt 3D. I'll come back to that. QUL support and QFile dialog, that's one of the many features that came from the KDE side. We got full session management support. Actually, that's something we got back from Qt 4. We got some placeholder text for Qt Text Edit, startup notifications on Linux, some getting multi-line text to a dialog, a key sequence editor. That's also something coming from the KDE side. So you know, if you want to have user configurable shortcuts, that's a very handy class to have. You know, you can have an embedded clear button for QLine edit, and we have some new signals in Qt Tagbar, like clicked and double-clicked. So lots of things, and rounding up the whole widget module. On QtQML, a lot of work has happened, and you know, that's been my, you know, one of the places I've been working myself quite a bit on. We actually did a fully new QML engine now. Well, it's a bit exaggerated. Lots of the old things are there, but we basically did a new JavaScript engine in there. We have no V8 dependency anymore. And that allows us to run QtQML now on iOS and on WinRT, where we cannot use just-in-time compilation. It allows us also to bring Qt Quick into the Apple App Store, Qt Quick applications. So we have just-in-time compiler, JIT backends, and interpreter backends. We're using JIT wherever possible, but on the other platforms, we're using the interpreter. Runs somewhat slower, but it's still, at least it gives you the possibility to run these applications there. The big difference here towards V8 is, and why we did the switch away from V8, is that, you know, the first one was that we can run it on iOS and WinRT, but the second is also that we saw that V8 made things complicated for us. It made the whole, you know, QML engine very complicated to maintain, and actually not very fast. You know, you would think, you know, this is the fastest JavaScript engine in the world. How can it be slow? Well, the slowness came in because QML works differently. It's binding expressions, usually very small expressions that you bind to a value. And most of these values were actually C++ types. So most of the left-hand side and most of the expressions you put into the right-hand side, most of the variables you accessed were also Qt variables, not JavaScript. And that meant that, you know, you had a constant going back and forth between Qt and JavaScript and the V8 engine. And all of the type conversions were killing all the performance. So we now did something that's really optimized for the QML use case. So we have a much better, faster Qt integration. It's less resource intensive. And we've been working on that quite a bit. The engine is now, you know, not quite as fast as V8 in pure JavaScript performance, but I think we have a good chance of optimizing that and getting that up, speed up quite a bit. In addition, we have a few new features. We have built-in support for the file selectors I just mentioned. So QtQML can automatically select different QML files depending on your platform, for example. That's very handy if you do multi-platform development. We have QML-based singletons, so you can create a singleton type in QML, actually, and, you know, put that into your code. And we have a QML runtime, basically just a binary that, you know, that can load and execute QML code. On Qt Quick, we've also done a lot of work, and we've got a new scene graph renderer. Gunnar has been doing that work, and it's actually pretty amazing. He's now going through the scene graph, trying to identify common items, and especially if you have repeating content like lists, it is extremely efficient. It collects similar items and groups them together in batches that are then sent off to the GPU, because that's how OpenGL works. You know, you want to have as few OpenGL draw commands as possible and group as much as possible into one command. That's what this renderer does. You know, it separates also opaque and transparent content, allowing us to do many more optimizations. And you can see the numbers here. If you look at the numbers up there, it's probably not readable, but you can see the red numbers behind is Qt5, is the old renderer. The green stuff is the new renderer, and that's the CPU load that you have there, and the time it takes to run. So we're getting a much better results here. You know, it's a huge improvement. In addition, we also got a new animation type in there. It's called animator, and that is very different from the current animations that we have. In Qt Quick, the animations that we currently have, they're running on the main thread, and then we have the rendering thread on the GPU, which basically draws things, which meant, you know, we were updating the main thread every, you know, 16 milliseconds and sending the updated results over to the rendering thread. Now, that had the disadvantage that if the main thread was doing some heavy calculations, something that blocked for more than 16 milliseconds, you would get lost frames on the other thread. And the render thread animations now work and animate on the rendering thread, which means they're not blocked by whatever happens on the UI thread. So you can show, you know, an animated progress bar, for example, while you do some extensive work on the other thread, and you can do other things. Basically gives you a much smoother user experience. And we added support for external drag and drop. One side note here is also that we have now, and we are deprecating Qt Quick 1 with Qt 5.2. Reason is simply that, you know, we think Qt Quick 2 is a much better solution nowadays, and we just, you know, it is a lot of work to maintain this, and we rather want to focus on making the new solution much better. And moving over from Qt Quick 1 to Qt Quick 2 is very simple. Qt Quick controls, we have now editable combo boxes, selection modes in table view. We have movable columns in table view. We have a switch and a busy indicator, which are actually very interesting also on for the mobile side. A new font dialog, some support for baselines, alignment for layouts, so you can adjust things according to a baseline, which is usually, especially for text, very, very nice and handy. And we simplified deployment. Qt Quick controls in Qt 5.1. If you wanted to deploy them, you had to deploy around, I don't know, it was 100 files or something like that. It's quite a lot less in Qt in 5.2, and it's as easy to deploy now as any other Qt module. We also added a few new modules. Bluetooth came back. We had that in Qt 4 with the mobility project on Symbian and Migo. Yeah, doesn't really help us very much, but we're bringing it back now, and it allows you to access a Bluetooth device, scan for other devices. It implements the RFCOMM protocol, which is similar to TCP, a low-level protocol. We implement the OBEX, Object Exchange Protocol, and we currently support it on Linux and BlackBerry. We brought back the NFC module that's also supported on BlackBerry right now. In Qt 4 we had Qt Location, and that included both something to get the geolocation and then the whole maps stuff. We split that now up into two modules, Qt Positioning for getting the geolocation, and that's something we added now for Qt 5.2, and the location, which will hopefully come later in 5.3. Qt Positioning currently supports an NMEA backend on all platforms, and we use GeoClue also on Linux. We also support that. We will probably add more backends and specialized backends for the different platforms as we move forward. We also added Qt Win, Mac, and Android extras. We already had Qt 11 X11 extras added in Qt 5.1, and these modules are basically there to implement platform-specific helper functionality, integrate with a native operating system and native functionality. This is what this is there for, or do things that are very special to a certain platform and help you with these kind of tasks. So if you have to do something that's special to a platform, these modules might help you there to get your job done. We also upgraded to a new version of Qt WebKit. So we took a new and up-to-date version from webkit.org. I think the snapshot is from somewhere in July this year, which includes a lot of improvement. Some JavaScript and JIT improvements, an incremental garbage collector. There's a page visibility API, so the app or the web page or the web app running there inside the browser knows when it's visible or when it's hidden, so it can stop doing any processing. Mouse enter, mouse leave events, so you get better support for that, web notifications, and geolocation. And I have to say this is the best WebKit we ever shipped. It's great. And some of you might have read that there's going to be some changes in this area. I'll come back to that in a minute or in a few minutes. But this is a great product now. We have a great WebKit that you can use if you want to integrate it with HTML content. Accessibility, also a long outstanding item. We finally have full support for accessibility on all our desktop platforms. And we do have basic support on Android. In addition, we made a lot of the accessibility APIs that we have public now with Qt 5.2. So this allows you to implement accessibility support for any custom controls that you are doing. If you do a custom Q widget or a custom Qt Quick control, you can add accessibility support to it. So that's the features that we have in the framework side. One more thing we'll do with 5.2 is we'll have a new version of Qt Creator bundled with it, Qt Creator 3.0. One of the things we're doing there is we add enablers for the plugins ecosystem. That's part of the open business architecture. It's basically that we're now looking at our plugin APIs and we're trying to stabilize them, give certain stability guarantees. Probably not quite the same guarantees as we give in terms of binary compatibility for the Qt frameworks, but more something similar to what we have on the QPA platform integration. We give some guarantees, but we still have keep the right to do some changes as well if they're really required. But this will allow us to have a common also playing field for anybody who wants to do plugins into Qt Creator and enhance Qt Creator with new functionality. We'll have enhanced Android support there, and we'll have some experimental iOS support in Qt Creator 3.0. We'll have multi-screen extensions, and we'll have some initial debugging for backend for LLDB, so for Mac and iOS. And now to look at the schedule. We released the alpha last week. The beta will come middle of October, so it's not too far away anymore. Let's see. I mean, as I said, we had the first snapshots out, and once the binaries are working well enough and we're happy, we'll release the beta. The release candidate is scheduled for middle of November. So that's 5.2. Let me just go a little bit back into the strategy we had with Qt when we moved into Digi and what I presented last year. Tommy already mentioned some of Digi's strategy elements. We want Qt to be #1 in multi-platform support, #1 in developer experience, #1 in creating user experience. We want to continue with a dual licensing model and have a strong value-generating ecosystem with the open business architecture. And that then translated into some strategy elements for the Qt framework and the Qt project that I presented last year in this keynote over there on the other side of the street. And that was, we want to support our users on desktop PCs, #1. We want to have, Qt be the framework of choice for embedded UIs. We're seeing that the world gets more connected, so we want to make sure that Qt apps can be connected. Best-in-class tooling solutions, and the world's leading cross-platform toolkit. And I'll show you a little bit what we've done for the last year to get there. Just to give you an idea. To support our users on the desktop PCs, a majority of our CI configurations are actually desktop. All the desktop platforms are tested extensively. We're running all the auto tests on all of them. We do a lot of maintenance of the Qt widgets module, which had been in Nokia times a little bit unclear, is secured. We have maintainers both from KDAP and Digia working on it. We have Qt Quick Controls that we released for the desktop first. Qt Serial Port. We've done Wayland client support for Linux, which is the upcoming windowing system for Linux. JSON, MIME type, multimedia, and most of the commercial add-ons are also relevant for the desktop. So a lot of work that has happened in that area. To be the framework of choice for embedded UIs, we started the Boot to Qt project to really greatly simplify using Qt on embedded devices. Where we have Linux and Android base layers, the full stack, simulate on the desktop. We've done work on Wayland, which is also extensively used on the desktop. Large improvement to the different QPA backends. So we have, for example, now multi-window support for EGLFS. A shared glyph cache, and other things. We've done the Android port and the Qt Quick Controls for embedded use. Also, for connected applications, we've done a lot of work. We've done the new WebKit, where it's easy to connect to web services using Qt with JSON, XML support, Qt XML patterns to, basically parse out certain parts of the XML that you get back from a server. Things like the XML list model in Qt Quick. We've done the cloud storage. Digi has done that, so we have the Engine IO backend as a service for Qt applications. We've done improvements to Qt Network that happened. Bluetooth and NFC is coming back. The Qt positioning is coming back. We have create the best-in-class tooling solutions. We've done a lot of work, and especially most of that happened here actually in the city, in our Berlin office. 3 releases of Qt Creator. We have a new major version of Qt Creator coming with Qt 5.2. We've done lots of work on the installer framework, making installation and deployment easier. The Qt build system, version 1.0 got released. Android integration and experimental iOS integration into Qt Creator. So also there, a lot has happened. And finally, to be the world's leading cross-platform framework, we have Qt available on all major desktop platforms. We now added Qt for Android and for iOS. We have Wayland support for Linux, for the upcoming Linux things. We are working on Qt for WinRT. I'll show you a little bit in a minute. And we're working for Qt. We're trying to, with Boot to Qt, we're bringing Qt also and making it easy to use Qt on embedded systems. So Qt really is everywhere, on all the platforms that you might possibly need it on. Well, with WinRT still in the works, Qt is really there. So let's have a little bit of an outlook into the future, what's happening now in the next year. And as I said, the last year has been very much about, executing the strategy that we have set out a year ago. And it's actually continuing. There's no major change happening, and I think that's a good thing. There's one exception, though. That's what we call the Qt WebEngine. As I said, Qt 5.2 comes with the best WebKit that we ever have done. But there's something that happened, and that was outside of our control. Inside the WebKit project, Google basically went in and forked WebKit. You have heard about that most likely. They created the Blink project and moved away from WebKit. And now that made us really sit back and think, what we want to do and what our current WebKit strategy is it sustainable anymore? Because Google was actually one of the companies that had an interest in cross-platform. Their Chromium browser runs on the desktop platforms and on Android. Apple, which is the main other company behind WebKit, only has an interest on their port on Mac OS and iOS. So we were suddenly there and looking at, that means we have to bear the whole burden of making WebKit available cross-platform on our own. So that didn't really look very tempting. At the same time, we also saw that implementing all the backends is a major effort. All the backends that you needed in Qt WebKit for the different platforms, and it wasn't sustainable. Chromium had, in the same time, developed a much better porting layer. And actually, you got the porting layer for free, so it would allow us to focus on the upper parts, on the API and the integration into Qt, not on the system integration. So with Qt WebEngine, we chose Chromium as the basis. It's the most feature-complete web engine. It has a cross-platform focus, which fits with what we want. It offers most functionality out of the box. So a lot things get easier, you get a lot better quality and a lot more feature-complete things. They have a very strict quality control, and it allows us to focus on the API layer and to do a better integration for Qt widgets and Qt Quick. In addition, we found out that actually Google is very open about what's happening in Chromium and what's happening in Blink. They had a conference there last week where some of our people went to, and it was the first time ever that we saw a roadmap, what's happening inside the project. With WebKit, that was never the case. There was always, at some point, Apple, because of Apple's policies, they had something new that they developed in-house, and at some point, they had a big announcement, then it came out. And then it was pushed also to WebKit. So this actually seems like we can work a lot better there. One difference is here that the to WebKit is that everything's running in a separate process, all the web content, which means, the synchronous APIs that we have in Qt WebKit will not work there anymore. So our expectations with the Qt WebEngine that we're working on now is that we'll have a better cross-platform support. The feature set will behave fully consistently between platforms. Currently, with WebKit, that's not the case. Some features work, on Linux, they don't work on Windows, and these kind of things. We'll have a widget API that's similar to QWebView, and we'll try to keep the API compatible where it's possible. We'll also have a full integration into the Qt scene graph, so we get the best possible performance on Qt Quick. And we'll have, for those of you that do hybrid development, we'll have an asynchronous evaluate JavaScript method in there, so that you can integrate between C++ and JavaScript. and it'll support all of the latest and greatest of HTML5. Multimedia, WebGL, WebRTC, which will be, a much more complete and feature set than what you have right now with Qt WebKit. Timeline is that we are planning on having a technology preview in November, probably a beta sometime in early next year, and we want to have it fully supported with Qt 5.3. Now, there's a few things that will happen after that first release. We're looking back into getting the QObject bridge back that we have in Qt WebKit, and we're looking separately at the cross-mobile story. Because on iOS, as I said, we can't ship WebKit. We're not allowed to ship a second web integration, neither Chromium nor Qt WebKit. So we need to integrate with whatever Apple provides us on iOS. And that's a separate project we're looking into, and we will also there early next year look into what we can do and what kind of API we can offer there that will really work across mobile and desktop and provide you a common layer of that. So you have then WebEngine for the deep integration and the full feature set, and you'll have something a bit more lightweight that works across all platforms. We'll work on Windows 8 and WinRT. The work has started, so support for apps in the Windows Store apps, desktop and tablet, and we're working on support for Windows Phone. This is not an incremental update to, like Windows 7. Microsoft changed the whole API layer. It requires a major rewrite, and it's a fully new Qt port. So we need to change a lot of the core features and turns into the integration in Qt. So we'll have a technology preview available in November. If you actually go over to the Digia booth, you can also see Qt running on Windows 8. You can see a Qt quick demo there. We'll have the beta in spring, and we will fully support it also in 2014. We'll do some more work on new APIs. Qt location is something we want to get back. We want to have Bluetooth support on more operating systems, looking into Android first, and probably iOS, Mac, and Windows. NFC probably for Android. Qt positioning. And let's see that we get backends also there for the mobile platforms. And we want to also finally have Qt 3D back. I know many of you have been looking for it and wanted to have it back in 5.1 and 5.2, and it's not there yet. Other things we want to look into is analytics, in-app purchase, in-app advertisement on the mobile, which is something that becomes more important, both on the mobile platforms, but also on the desktop with the app stores, for Mac and Windows. On the tooling side, the main focus will most likely be deployment. Get a cross-platform packaging solution, app store integration, make it really easy to get your app out to the world, package it up and deploy it to your customers. We'll look into embedded boot to Qt tooling, and also look into advanced QML debugging and profiling. So this is some of the things that we're looking at in the tooling side for 5.2. So with that, let me just sum things up once more, and just to show you all the things that have happened. So we've released Qt 5.0 and 5.1 last year. We had 3 Qt Creator releases and many other modules that we got released independently. Pretty good. We have Qt 5.2 coming up in November with full support in Android and iOS. As Tommy mentioned, we today launched the Qt Mobile Edition. It's a new product from Digia, a subscription-based thing that complements the Qt Enterprise Edition. You can use it with a subscription model. It comes with a cloud engine, cloud storage, and it supports Android and iOS right now, and will extend it to other platforms probably in the future. We're working on Qt for WinRT. Technology preview will come in November as well, and we hope that we have it fully supported with Qt 5.3. And finally, we're working on the Qt WebEngine, the successor for Qt WebKit, where we want to have a technology preview also out in November, and we want to fully support that one with Qt 5.3. And yeah, with that, I'd like to thank you for listening to me and spending that hour with me, and I'm open for questions.
Thank you very much, Lars. We can take a couple of questions. If you can just raise your arms and we have our runners come to you with a microphone. There's a question up there on the right.
Hello. You mentioned about Windows 8 is not yet supported, but you are meaning the Metro style of Qt? So
Yes, I'm sorry, I should have clarified that. Windows 8 in the classic desktop mode works and is fully supported, has always been fully supported. There's no problems at all. It's only that if you want to get Windows 8, modern UI is now called looking applications that you can get into the Windows App Store. That's something we're still working on.
Okay, thank you.
There's a question down about fourth or fifth row down here. Runner 5. I wonder whether anybody got that reference.
Hi. I just wanted to have some more information about the Boot to Qt project that you're working on. Is this about having, I would say, a multi-process app framework running into some embedded device, or is this just about running one Q application inside just a standard embedded Linux platform?
Okay. Right now, what Boot to Qt is really trying to create a full stack, so you don't have to worry about the base layer integration and all these things. We'll do that work for you. It's a commercial project, just to mention that as well. But the initial focus is single process, but we will extend it to multi-process as well.
First row here.
Hi. You mentioned the new Q time zone and Q date time. Do you now fully handle daylight switches and summer-winter time switches, the lost hours, the double hours?
Pretty much all of that is handled. I think there was some very minor things that were still, a little bit questionable. If you want to have all the details, talk to John Late. He's here at the conference, over there, third row, fourth row on that side. Otherwise, you can find him at the KDE booth. He knows every detail about it. And there's a lightning talk about it.
You mentioned the support for Android signing,
yes.
And about iOS and external signing. Are you going also to help people to because currently the sign-in process for Apple is quite a nightmare. And
yes, it is. Yeah, we're looking into it. The problem is here that right now we're not that far even. We're looking into the first steps is to make actually deploying apps to your iOS device from Qt Creator possible. And already that is a bit difficult because Apple does not officially support that, and they did not publish the APIs for that. So we're using some, let's say not officially supported things. They're trying to do that, and we have to figure out how that works first of all. Once we have that, we can also then look into signing and App Store later on. But I'm actually not holding my breath too much whether we can do it or not. We don't know yet, honestly speaking. It really depends on, will also depend on what Apple will allow us to do. Some of the similar things are